Behind every great company is a moment that changed everything. A single product reveal, a bold decision, a stunt so unexpected it left an entire audience speechless. These are 10 times CEOs commanded absolute silence. If this is the kind of content that keeps you thinking, hit subscribe so you never miss a deep dive. Number 10. Elon Musk and the Cybertruck window disaster, November 21, 2019, Tesla Design Studio, Hawthorne, California, right next to SpaceX headquarters. Tesla promised its Cybertruck had armor glass windows so tough they were virtually unbreakable. Chief designer Franz von Holzhausen threw a metal ball at the driver's side window. It shattered. He tried the rear window. Same result. Musk stood at the end of his entire presentation in front of a truck with 2 cracked panels. The room went from anticipation to stunned silence in under 3 seconds. Musk later explained, the windows had been weakened by an earlier sledgehammer strike to the door. Despite the disaster, Musk announced 250,000 pre-orders in just 5 days, a failure that somehow worked entirely in Tesla's favor. Number 9. Steve Jobs and the 1984 Macintosh introduction, January 24, 1984. No personal computer had ever spoken a single word to a human audience. Jobs walked onto the stage at the Flint Center Auditorium at De Anza College in Cupertino, pulled the Macintosh out of a canvas bag, inserted a floppy disk, and let the machine do something no one had ever witnessed. The computer spoke. In a synthesized voice, it said, "Hello, I am Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag." The crowd of roughly 2,500 Apple shareholders, employees, and journalists erupted. Then fell into stunned silence as they processed what had just happened. Before the word Stevenode had entered the cultural vocabulary, before the black turtleneck became iconic, a beige box changed the way the world thought about personal computing. Jobs was 28 years old. Number 8. Steve Jobs and the iPhone reveal, January 9, 2007. Moscone Center, San Francisco. The iPhone prototype Jobs was about to demonstrate was barely functional. Engineers, led by senior radio engineer Andy Grignon, had spent weeks developing a so-called golden path of specific tasks Jobs could perform in sequence with the lowest chance of the device crashing. They pre-programmed the phone to always display 5 bars of signal strength regardless of its true strength. Calls dropped during every rehearsal. Apps crashed if used out of order. As Jobs walked through each step of the 90-minute demo flawlessly, Grignon and his team sat in the 5th row downing scotch from a flask after every segment that went right. The engineers later said Jobs executed every step as if the phone had been working perfectly for months. The audience never suspected a thing. Number 7. Steve Jobs and the Microsoft deal and his return, August 6, 1997, Macworld, Boston. Apple was 90 days from bankruptcy. Jobs had just returned to the company after being ousted roughly 12 years earlier. There were no new products to announce, no flashy demos, just a man about to tell a room of loyal Apple fans something they would not want to hear. Jobs announced Apple and Microsoft were ending years of legal hostilities. Microsoft would invest $150 million in Apple by purchasing non-voting preferred shares. Apple would make Internet Explorer the default browser on the Mac. Bill Gates' face appeared on a giant screen behind Jobs to loud boos from the audience. Jobs cut the crowd off. "We have to let go of this notion that for Apple to win, Microsoft has to lose." One of the tensest audiences in tech history. And the deal saved the company. Number 6. Jeff Bezos and the Day 2 is death philosophy. 20-plus years of annual shareholder letters that read like philosophy lectures from the most patient man in capitalism. Jeff Bezos did not silence rooms with product reveals or theatrical stunts. He did it with cold, logical clarity. At an Amazon all-hands meeting, an employee asked what Day 2 looks like. Bezos answered without hesitation. Day 2 is stasis, followed by irrelevance, followed by excruciating, painful decline, followed by death. The room went silent. The quote was later published in his 2016 letter to shareholders. His May 2010 Princeton commencement address carried similar weight. In the end, we are our choices. He told the graduating class, before we continue, which CEO moment hit hardest for you so far? Was it the shattered Cybertruck glass? Or Jobs telling his own fans they were wrong? Drop a comment and let us know where you are watching from number 5. Jensen Huang and the GTC keynotes and the AI revolution. A leather jacket and no teleprompter. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has turned his annual GTC keynotes into the most anticipated technical presentations in the industry. At GTC 2024 on March 18th, Huang unveiled the Blackwell GPU architecture, the most powerful chip NVIDIA had ever designed. The crowd of thousands of developers sat in stunned silence before erupting. His ability to make chip architecture feel like a thriller has drawn comparisons to Jobs in his prime. Under his leadership, NVIDIA market capitalization surged past $3 trillion. Huang Co. founded the company in April 1993 at a Denny restaurant in East San Jose alongside Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priam, number 4. Mark Zuckerberg and Senator We Run Ads, April 10, 2018. Following the Cambridge Analytica scandal, which exposed the data of 87 million Facebook users, Zuckerberg sat before a joint session of the Senate Commerce and Judiciary Committees in a Navy suit. Senators grandstanded. Zuckerberg sat perfectly still. When Senator Orrin Hatch asked how Facebook sustains a business model in which users do not pay for the service, Zuckerberg paused, gave a slight smile, and replied, "Senator, we run ads." The hearing room went quiet. 5 words silenced the most powerful legislative body in the world. Number 3. Steve Jobs and the MacBook Air envelope moment. January 15, 2008. Macworld San Francisco at Moscone Center. Jobs spent several minutes citing specs about the new MacBook Air thinness. The audience nodded politely. Then Jobs walked calmly to the side of the stage and picked up a standard manila inter-office envelope, the kind found on any desk in any office in America. He unwound the string and casually slid the entire laptop out of it. The audience gasped. No numbers could have told that story better than that single image. It remains one of the most iconic product reveals in the history of consumer electronics. Number 2. Bill Gates and releasing mosquitoes at TED. February 4, 2009. TED in Long Beach, California. Gates was delivering a talk on malaria, a disease killing nearly 1 million people per year at the time, mostly children in sub-Saharan Africa. He noted more money was going into research on baldness drugs than on malaria treatments. He needed the room to understand the stakes. So he picked up a glass jar, opened it, and released a cloud of live mosquitoes into the audience. "There is no reason," he said. "Only poor people should have the experience of living with the risk of malaria." He let the moment breathe before revealing the mosquitoes were not infected. The stunt drove more global attention to the disease than any press release ever had. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has since invested more than $400 million in malaria vaccines and treatment. Number 1. Steve Jobs and One More Thing. The Black Mock Turtleneck by Issey Miyake. The Levi 501 Blue Jeans. The New Balance 991 sneakers. For more than a decade, Steve Jobs wore the same uniform on stage at every keynote, at Macworld, at WWDC, at Apple Expo. But no moment within those keynotes carried more weight than 3 simple words: one more thing. Whenever Jobs said them, every audience went pin drop silent. Everyone knew something extraordinary was coming. Jobs rehearsed every keynote for multiple days leading up to each event. His final keynote was delivered on June 6, 2011 at WWDC at Moscone West, where he unveiled iCloud and iOS 5. He passed away on October 5, 2011. He did not just silence rooms. He trained the entire world to want to be silenced.